Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. We're rocking and rolling. A trade deal was announced in the markets. They went up. So on today's video, I'm going to break down what the other YouTubers will eventually break down to in the future. We're going to talk about price action, the important stuff. But for this first little part, I'm going to take a page out of their book. I'm going to break down the news. Yeah, I Googled it. For everyone that can't read or do anything themselves, I'm going to do it for you. You know? What do you guys call those YouTubers that just read news to you, like like a librarian? You know, they just like just story time. I'm not gonna lie, I like it because I don't like to read, but it just feels weird just reading the news. Anyway, here's my Google assessment on May 8th, 2025. That is today, all day at least. President Donald Trump and the UK Prime Minister announced a new bilateral trade agreement between the United States and the United Kingdom. States and Kingdom. This marks the first trade deal since President Trump imposed sweeping global tariffs. Kind of sweeping in April. Anyway, key elements of the agreement: tariff adjustments. The U.S. will reduce tariffs on British automobiles from 27.5% to 10% for up to 100,000 vehicles annually. Is that a lot? That's not a lot. That is not a lot at all. Tariffs in the UK steel and aluminum exports to the U.S. will be eliminated. Okay. However, a baseline 10% tariff on most other British goods will remain in place. Weren't we already at? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we were already at 10%. I don't know. Anyway, that's what it is now. Agricultural trade. The UK will lower its average tariff on the U.S. goods from 5.1 to 1.8, enhancing access for American products such as beef and ethanol. We Americans like both of those. Very much so, actually, as a matter of fact. There's a weird group of vegans, but, you know, they still like it. Specifically, the UK will remove its 19% ethanol tariff, allowing up to 700 million in American ethanol exports. Both countries have agreed to allow tariff-free access for 13,000 metric tons of beef. So, enough to at least cover my lunches for the year. You know, not bad. Looks like some of you guys are going to have to just pay another tariff on everything. Anyway, industrial and aerospace sectors, the agreement includes the removal of the U.S. duties on British airplane parts and $10 billion order of Boeing aircraft by the U.K. airline. Are you sure you want Boeing? You sure? I don't know if you've seen the news lately. Boeings that are not in the United States, they don't tend to do well. Gravity has this thing with them. It's weird. Additionally, the UK will align its steel and aluminum tariffs with the U.S. levels at 25%. Market access and customs. The UK has committed to fast-tracking American goods through the customs process, aiming to streamline trade and reduce non-tariff barriers. There's the news, ladies and gents. That's it. Come for that. Stay for the stock. For what it actually means for your wallet. The deal was far from earth-shattering. Well, that depends. You just don't like him. Okay, if you liked him, it's earth-shattering. Okay. I hope this opened the floodgates of deals with the U.S. Hopefully, you know, break the ice a little bit first. Okay, so price action wise. Sorry, one second. Nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. If you are, well, more importantly, we're retesting the death cross. You know, something to be aware of. More importantly, you've seen this drawn out a lot. So on my last video, I talked about bullish above this zone, bearish below this zone. It was actually my admin, who even goes live in the group. Cody brought it up. Does what I always do. Except this time. This time I didn't. He says, time to draw these lines again. Here's your one daily candle up, and we've been inside the whole time. Been in this range. Yeah, now we went yellow zone to yellow zone. So technically I was right. But also the lines are right. So we just jumped up, and I'll break down to a smaller time frame for you guys so you guys can see it. Just sent it, and then now we're kind of right back in. Hanging out in the middle. So, like you've seen on here multiple times before, if we can actually get above and close above, this does not count. We're talking about on the daily right here, where that range is drawn. that will be your indicator, you know, kind of bullish above, bearish below. Breaking this will be breaking that zone. I would expect at least this yellow zone right here. This we'll have to contend with. I think getting outside this range, we'll probably see some sellers here in this zone. This is the S&P, by the way. A little bit out of order because we usually go with the dollar and some crypto first. But expect to maybe hang out here. Intraday for sure. I wouldn't expect to just plow right through it. Keep an eye on that. Going to the U.S. dollar. Stop going up. I did tag out of my U.S. CAD positions. I had my stops in the green, and then today it pushed up. I have not gotten back in, but I kind of want to. I don't know what signal I'm waiting on. If I'm feeling antsy, it'll be right inside here. We're not going to make it that exciting. Anyway, going to keep an eye out for that. Yeah, otherwise, I gotta wait for a zone setup to get back in. I am still short, so overall, mindset-wise, I just need the right entry. Right now, I could go short. Maybe it's a little overbought. You know, get my stop above here. Comes down in here. We could just be checking that zone from the top. You know, maybe my stop would be in the green and I make a few dollars. As far as U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, same story there. At least we have a weekly trend play on this one. Something happened. That type 2 went nuts on the NASDAQ. Okay, we'll check it out. Bitcoin. Who's excited for this? Oh, I am. I'm pumped. Get ready to send it. Who's ready for Bitcoin at all-time highs? It won't happen tomorrow. It'll happen Monday. What's tomorrow? The 9th, 10th, 11th? 9th, 10th? So it'll be the 12th? Monday the 12th? Just because I said that, it'll be Tuesday the 13th. How do you guys like that confidence, huh? I just like that we're above this level. These zones are bright for a reason. We still got to keep an eye on them. Pulling back and testing that would be a little bit more important for me right now. Right now, we're kind of just melting our way up. So nothing too actionable for me. S&P we already went over. As far as the expected move this week, we've done literally nothing. Here's the weekly candle. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We are hanging out at this range right here. This is the Liberation Day meltdown where everybody panicked. Again, shout out to everybody. I assume everybody's sharing it on Facebook. Remember when everybody was like sharing, thanks Trump, you know, because the markets were down. Now I don't really do the social media thing, but I bet if I were to get on, I would see a whole bunch of thanks Trump for the markets being back up. I assume so. Anyway, I want you guys to go on Facebook and Instagram and make sure you share and thank Donald Trump, because if it was his fault, it's down. It's also his fault, it's up, you know? Unless it just didn't fit your narrative, then I get it. Then you should just delete that post. Because people like me are tired of seeing stupid stuff. You guys give people a lot of credit. Let's check out this NASDAQ Type 2 level. All right, let's go down to the daily. So here's your daily range right here. Now we dropped down to that zone, came all the way back up. We got to go into a smaller time frame. Hit that zone, sold off, full send right there. I do know a little bit more about the story with this one, because this one got me a couple texts today. It bounced, it's going nuts in a futures account. How do I trail this? Shout out, you know who you are. You had an awesome day. I know it. I gotta say, I'm probably looking at the same levels. Best dip buy I've ever taken a part of. How much is that post worth paying me to do it? If you did the first one, then you should automatically be doing the second one. I can't pay for stupidity. That's against my business ethics. I just saw a lot of people saying stupid stuff. So I assume what they're going to do now is keep that same energy. Or I'm going to have to. And I'm going to make so many posts until everyone blocks and deletes me. Because that's how annoyed I am that I have to get on social media and see stupid stuff like that. As far as the expected move, again, we've done nothing this week, which is something we talked about earlier. I thought we'd be red this week, like down here. Still a chop week. I just kind of figured we would chop and kind of work our way down here. We're literally nowhere, right? Whatever you bought on Friday or sold, we're just there. You saw your account go down, right back up, maybe up a little bit and right back down. Nothing. Grandpa Dow. Break this all down for everybody. By the way, real quick, let me just speed run this because I don't think a lot of people are in the Dow or the Russell. But let's just take a quick peek. Daily range. Oh, sorry, S&P, right? All these are daily range. S&P range, NASDAQ range, Grandpa Dow same range, Russell, even he joined the party, same range. So we got to watch out for this. Now, here's the thing. I want to be bullish, but I was kind of bearish right here in the first place. I'm looking out for the bears. I want to be bullish, watching out for the continuation. But this push up, typically a lot of times, you know, if I were to just paint this out, where's my little paintbrush tool? You get the move up, and then it comes back down. You get right here, you got the Fibonacci, people are happy. You got someone typing A and B, and they're going to say it's going to equal C and D. You know, everybody's got their thing, but they're happy with this pullback right here. We've made this move, and we kind of did this. Now, all that means is pause. This move still comes. We just scooted over to here, and it looks like that. That's all. So by it going sideways this week, it's still this. My thoughts are still the same as Sundays. Like, watch out for the sellers at these levels. For now, and I want to be very clear about this, I am in the buy the dip crowd. Oh, I promise. Control. That's what it is. Woo! I kept trying to do shift. I'm like, I'm probably gonna lose it. Anyway. I'm going to buy the dip, kind of. Really, I'm not going to be the first one to buy the dip, and I don't think you should either. Do whatever you want. It's not financial advice. We need to see what kind of sellers show up first. Because if institutions are still selling and retail is the one buying the dip, and I've harped about this on the last few videos. So if you're new here, maybe just watch the next few so you don't have to just come back on another video where I said, remember that one time I told you this was going to happen? What I worry about is we gave up, and I'm going to keep saying this, we gave the biggest green flag to just do whatever you want. We're going to buy the dip. We're going to cover you to the institutions. That is us as retail going up to a big institution and say, don't worry, we're volunteering to be a meat shield. You can have our money. Not going to be a good look, especially when they turn on the burners and send it down and everyone didn't get the memo. Now, I'm a buyer when the market's down 20%. I've already bought a lot, so everything I bought is up. You know, that being said, not going to be the first one buying the dip. I need to see if it's red candles that look like this, red candles that look like this. Maybe we get some mediums in there. I want to see where the momentum goes, because if it starts to landfall, we start to see the VIX even try to fake us with something, like just try to even flinch at us. I don't think you should be buying a dip, because I think that could end up being dangerous. We start turning this ship around. We don't make a higher low right here. We're going to start talking about this being horizontal. Maybe we take the whole year off and go sideways. Or we hit it with some momentum and pull back. Now, without all the bear talk, now that's my mindset for the bear side, because right now we're range bound. You can tell me you're short. You can tell me you're long. I'm not going to fight either one. I'm kind of bullish now, though. Longer we go sideways, you know, if that's all the bears can do, then that's not even Winnie the Pooh. That's that little small bear that even the blonde girl didn't even want. Like, nah, it's too little. No one's worried about that one. You know, so we push this thing up. I just think we haven't felt the effects of a lot of this, and if there is going to be recession talk, it's going to be Q2, Q3. So maybe we push this thing up. Maybe we can get all the way to here. Maybe we are at all-time highs, and then the recession talks happen. And we can very easily just take the whole year off, you know, and just, as investors, take the whole year off, nothing happens. As traders, we'll make money up, down. I can't say left, right, front, back, but, you know, all the ways but backwards, we can't do that. I haven't figured that part out yet. As a trader, this has been awesome. But, you know, looking at just cycles of things, we can push up to here. We have the recession talks. We announce a recession. Things start to bounce. We look back. We spent the whole year just range bound. Great for traders. Sucks for investors. That's why they make YouTube videos, because they don't make money off stocks. Remember that. Sideways for a year would suck. Good thing we know how to make money during sideways action. Yeah, we'll make money. It'd be awesome.